Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Gamester81. This is one of my favorite retro systems. It's called the Vectrex. It's released under a whole bunch of companies worldwide actually. Made by a company called Smith Engineering in the States, but in the US it's known as the GCE Vectrex. In Europe it's known as the Milton Bradley Vectrex, and even in Japan it's known as the Bandai Vectrex. But it's all the same system. Definitely is competing. Came out in 1982, so you're competing with systems like Atari 2600 was still popular. 5200 it just came out. You've got ColecoVision. You even have Intellivision. So there's just a whole bunch of systems in the market. That's just to name a few. So it was definitely a lot of players in the field right now as far as gaming goes, and which led to the crash in 1983. And by 84, this system left the market. Sadly, only 21 games were ever made for the system. All awesome ports. There were a whole bunch of homebrews still being made for the system, and now I take that back. There were a couple, about 5 or 6 3D games made for the system, so about 26 games total. Now, where it gets its name Vectrex is actually uses vector graphics, which, if you're familiar with games like Tempest and Asteroids and Battlezone, games like that use those linear graphics lines. That's what this system specializes in, and obviously it's unique because it has its own screen, which is new at the time, and it had a couple cool add-ons that you could use for it, accessories. There was a light pen which you could use to draw on the screen, which is awesome, and that fetches a lot of money right now. I don't own it. And there's also a 3D device that would make the images 3D. Which is kind of cool, which predated this Sega Master System by 6 years on that. So that's really neat. And let's go check out the system itself. You've got your cartridge slot right here on the side. Now there's a built-in game, Mindstorm, and it's an Asteroids kind of clone, so to speak. It's only 13 levels long, so after 13 stages, it just kind of goes black, and it's kind of just crashes the game. But a lot of people complain. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. A few people complained, and they wrote in, and they got a Minesweep 2 cart, which was actually the complete game. And that cart right now fetches a lot of money. It's one of the most rare games for the system. On the back, you got your holder here, so you can pick it up. It's about 15-20 pounds. It's pretty heavy. You got your brightness contrast right here. There was no cables to hook it up to a big TV. It's its own TV. For that reason, one of the downfalls about the system is if the TV goes out or the screen went out, which was fairly common, system doesn't work, which is a bummer. There's a lot of working parts in here, so to find a working system, it's definitely they fetch a lot of money, but it's worth it if you're a collector, definitely. Now here I do have a box here, and it's definitely ragtagged, as you can see, and considering it's 27 years old or older than that, it's it is what it is. But you can kind of see the different games, and those are with the overlays. Now, speaking of which, there were overlays that came with this game, with each game, and you could put it on the screen, much like the Magnavox Odyssey had, which I showed in a previous video. So I don't own any overlays. I do have about 4 or 5 games for the system. There's a multi-cart game you can actually buy on eBay, which is like 82 games in one, which you can hook up into the system as well. So I'm going to show you a few. Now, if you're wondering where the controller is, it's actually pretty cool. There's a storage unit here, and you open it up, and it pops out like this. Now, you got your joystick here, and you got 4 buttons. If you tilt it here, I don't know how well you can see it, but right there is actually the volume and on and off switch. And you got another port here for another. You can put your controller in here for number 2, so play 2-player. I'm going to show you a couple games. I'm going to show you Mindstorm. This is what the carts look like. This is Berserk. I have a couple. I have Star Trek. I also have game Spike, which is the first talking game for the system. I have a few more, but I'm going to show those other reviews, and I'm going to show you these 2 games, and let me know what you guys think. All right. Hey YouTube, how's it going? So unfortunately, there's no really easy way of capturing this very well, since it's got its own monitor. I can't hook it up to the computer, so I'm going to have to kind of play it, kind of like videotaping. So let's boot this thing on. We're going to check out Minesweep. This is the built-in game for it. '82 GCE, that's what it says. It's too blurry. So it's an Asteroids clone. Turn the volume up. So number 4 fires. Button 3 makes you kind of boost, and button 2 works. You kind of makes you disappear and reappear, like that. The graphics are really clear. It's unlike asteroids, it seems like when you shoot these asteroids or these stars, they kind of just randomly appear somewhere. They don't split off like in I find it easiest just to sit in the middle, because once you get moving, you get spaceships too right now. So you guys can kind of get the basic gist of it. There's more spaceships up here, and there's 13 stages of this. Let's go check out Berserk. Let's boot this thing up. I'm not sure how clear this will be. It's kind of hard. There it goes. This is player 1. I always hate that guy. There's actually a sequel to this game called Frenzy, which is released as well in the arcade. One thing frustrating, you can always just shoot in certain directions in this game. And if you hit walls, you die too. But I think it would have been awesome if they would release like Star Wars Arcade for the system. That would have been sweet. Now, when there's a lot of characters on the screen, it does seem to slow a bit. Alright guys, so this is the Vectrex. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.